friends, and welcome to Storytime for the week of May 2nd, 2021. I'm Miss April, the youth librarian at Janaden Hutton Public Library, and thank you for joining me for Storytime this week. We're going to talk about May flowers, as in April showers bring May flowers. Last week we talked about puddles and rain for the last week of April. And for the first week of May, we're going to talk about all the wonderful flowers that we are currently seeing popping up in our gardens and in wild fields and, well, just about everywhere in our little community anyway. You can see wonderful, beautiful flowers. So I have some new songs for this month. For us to learn. So we're going to sing the first one a little bit slowly, and then next week we'll speed it up a little bit so it doesn't quite take so long. So listen to me, and when you catch on, you jump right in, all right? Hello, springtime. Hello, springtime. Hello, springtime. We're glad springtime is here. Hello, flowers. Hello, flowers. Hello, flowers. We're glad springtime is here. Let's see, we have more. Hello, green grass. Hello, green grass. Hello, green grass. We're glad springtime is here. And then maybe one more. They're up in the trees and they tweet, tweet, tweet. Hello, birdies. Hello, birdies. Hello, birdies. We're glad springtime is here. Yes, we are. It's so nice to be in the spring when things are starting to come alive and get beautiful. I have a toot and puddle book for you today. How does your garden grow? Maybe you have a flower garden. Maybe you have a vegetable garden. Maybe you have both. But how does your garden grow? Toot and Puddle always wanted to plant their garden in May. This year, Puddle's little cousin Opal came to Woodstock Pocket to help. I love gardens, she said. Gardens are lovely. They planted loads of lettuce. Toot and Toot planted spinach, squash, carrots, and peppers. Puddle planted beans and beets, plus pumpkins and popcorn. Last of all, Opal planted sunflowers and morning glories and crazy collared zinnias. Each morning they went out to see how everything in the garden was growing. At the end of the day, they admired the garden in the evening light. It's beautiful, Opal said. I can't wait until we're picking things and eating them, said Toot. Well, we'll have to wait, said Puddle. We'll have to wait. Waiting is the hardest part. I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see a little better. One morning, Puddle noticed that some lettuce leaves had been nibbled up. Something likes our lettuce, he said. What could it be? Opal asked. I think we have an unwanted visitor, said Puddle. We'll build a fence, Toot said decisively. Gardens need fences. The next day, more lettuce leaves were missing. How did it get in? Puddle wanted to know. What can we do? Catch it, said Toot, who was obviously furious. They hadn't tasted the lettuce themselves yet. Catch it? Opal asked in a worried voice. Maybe it won't come back, she suggested. Whatever it was, maybe it will just go away. Let's wait and see, Puddle said calmly. What do you think's eating the things in their garden? The next morning, there was less lettuce than ever. Toot couldn't believe his eyes. Outrageous, he fumed. Opal said, I think there's still enough for everyone. The next morning, holy moly, Puddle said, look at the spinach. I don't believe it, cried Toot. Maybe it doesn't understand, Opal suggested, whatever it was. Maybe it thinks eating things from our garden is okay. So Puddle nailed a sign to the garden gate that said, "Private garden. Please don't eat everything." So now they're asking nicely for whatever's eating to please don't eat it. Puddle couldn't sleep at night, thinking about the creature in the garden, and Opal dreamed about who the creature might be. Opal's. This is Puddle, worried, staying awake. There's Opal having bad dreams, scared of what it might be that's eating their lettuce and spinach. The next morning, almost all the bright green leaves of new spinach were gone. Toot said, "I'm going to stay up all night and catch whoever is devouring our garden." "You can't do that alone," said Puddle. The night was cool and bright. The three gardeners waited and watched for hours. At last, "I think I see something coming," Toot whispered. "Where?" "There," Toot said, "from the woods." Opal shivered. "Oh, no," she muttered. "No, no, no." "It's coming," Puddle said, "whatever it was." What could it be? What is that? It took the longest time to reach the garden gate. Very slowly, it climbed up the post and plop, thud, into the garden. They watched it as it waddled through the rows of vegetables. "It's eating our spinach," whispered Puddle. "What is that?" "Attack!" Toot cried, and he raced for the garden, flourishing his hoe. "Toot!" Puddle called after him. "Be careful! Don't hurt it!" Toot ran around the vegetable thief of Woodcock Puckett in a wide circle. "Stop that!" he shouted. "Away with you!" "Yes, away with you!" Puddle cried, catching up with his friend. Opal did not remain behind. "Excuse me," she called boldly. "Do you know you are in Toot and Puddle's garden?" "What is it?" Boys and girls, have you ever seen an animal like that? With spiky quills all over its body? The creature just went on munching leaves of spinach, as though no one else were there. It made mumbling, grunting sounds of contentment. "What can we do?" Puddle asked. "You're under arrest," Toot shouted. He waved his hoe in the air, but their unwanted visitor didn't seem to notice. See, he's still eating, just eating. As dawn was breaking, the bulky, prickly intruder moseyed out of the garden, ambled across the yard, and disappeared into the woods. "The fence won't keep him out," Puddle said. "I don't think we can scare him away either," Toot admitted. Opal was looking toward the dark woods. "I don't think he understands about gardens," Opal said. For the next few days, the garden was not disturbed. Nothing came to eat the new green leaves of the carrots or the beets or the beans. "I think it only likes lettuce and spinach," Opal said. "Maybe you're right," said Puddle. All week long, everything in the garden went on growing and blooming quite nicely. But Opal had a feeling about the garden that wouldn't go away, and one evening at dinner she piped up. "The garden is lovely," she said, "but it isn't as exciting as it used to be." "I know what you mean," Puddle said. It really isn't," Toot agreed. So the following morning they planted another row of spinach right where the first row had been. Puddle made a new sign with Opal's help, and they hung it out on the garden gate. And it said, "Free spinach. Help yourself." free spinach. Help yourself. They're inviting their intruder back in. And guess what? He came back to eat it. Isn't that a nice story about things growing in May? I think it's lovely. And I think it's really, really nice that they decided for themselves that they had plenty for themselves. And so they planted more spinach so that their new friend, would come back and enjoy it. They helped another out. I think that's a lovely story. All right, we have one more song, and then we'll get to our craft. This one's called Flower Garden. All right. The farmer plants the seed. The farmer plants the seed. Hi-ho and cheerio. The farmer plants the seed. And the sun shines. The sun begins to shine. The sun begins to shine. Hi-ho and cheerio. The sun begins to shine. The rain begins to fall. The rain begins to fall. Hi-ho and cheerio. The rain begins to fall. And then guess what happens? The flowers start to grow. The flowers start to grow. Hi-ho and cheerio. The flowers start to grow. Very good. Would you like to see what craft we're making today? I have an example for you. And it says, April showers bring May flowers. Yeah, we're going to make a craft. Very simple. All we need, I have a piece of drawing paper. It's a little thicker, little drawing paper. You could use white regular paper at home, construction paper, whatever you have. I have some pipe cleaners, and I've cut my green ones for my stems. I've already cut them, okay? And I have some different colored ones. I have some pretty pom-poms. Do you see those? Oop. To put as the center of my flowers. I have glue. We have to have glue for this. And I have a couple of markers. So I'm going to write at the top of mine, and I will move my camera a little bit so you can see. April showers bring May flowers. You can write whatever you'd like. I like writing April because that's my name. So you can see my work now. All right. If you're not yet writing, maybe a grown-up at home can help you with that. If you're able to trace, they could draw dots on the top of yours, and you could trace them. So I've got April showers bring draw a little line under bring May, and then we'll do dot, 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 and then we're going to put our flowers on there. So see, I wrote April showers bring May, and we'll put our flowers in there. All right, I have my glue. Just making sure that it'll work for us today. It does take some time for this to dry, okay? And sometimes you need to put something a little heavier down on it so that it'll dry for you and be flat. Give my glue a good toss. All right. I think that's where I want my first stem to be. So right beside it, just gonna move it back a little bit, I am going to draw with my glue a similar shaped stem. And then I'm gonna put my stem in it. Just right down in there in that glue. Get some glue on my fingers. Then I'm going to put my other one over here. And I'm going to do the same thing. Put my glue right beside it so that I know how long to make my glue line and what kind of arch to do. And then I will put my stem right down in it. And then finally, my third one right in the middle. And I'll move it over to the side a little bit. My glue. That one's a little bent. I gave it a little extra glue right there in the middle. And I put my stem right on it. Now, this is the fun part. I'm going to use a purple and I think a red. And do you think we should use orange or yellow? All right, we'll use orange. We're going to make our flower tops. You can take 1 or 2 fingers, probably 2 for you because you're little. I'm going to use 2 as well. You might want to use 3. And you're going to just wrap, wrap around to make a round circle for your flower. So it should look kind of like that. You can make it more circular if you want, but you don't have to. And we're going to draw a circle with the glue where our flower should be, and you fill it in too, okay? Fill it in with glue. We're using quite a bit of glue there. And then we put our flower on. Do you see what I've done? I'm going to try to hold that up for you so that you can see, and hopefully nothing falls off yet. Yep. Just put my circle right there. And then we'll use purple. And we're going to just wrap a circle again. Wrap a circle. And we'll make some with our glue. Another circle. Maybe. And fill it in. And we'll put our purple flower on there. My son has a little stuffy penguin at home that he named Purple Flower. Makes me think of that when I say purple flower. And then finally, what color is that? It's the same color as my shirt. Red, yeah. We just twist around a red one. Quick and easy like that. And it's gonna go right here. Drawing my circle. And my red flower will go right in that space. Then, let me see if I can show you these. Do you see my flowers? We need to put a center in our flower. So, we're going to get out some palms. What colors do you think we should use? I think maybe a green, which I'm going to put right here in my red flower, and maybe a pink, which I'm going to put right there in my purple flower, and then what color is that? Yellow, which I'm going to put right there in my orange flower. So we have our centers, and we have one last thing to do with our craft, which is to draw leaves. could put grass in too if you'd like, but I'm just going to put leaves in. I don't draw leaves well. I never have, ever, but I'm going to try, okay? So I'm just going to just make what I think a leaf looks like for my little flowers. Put a couple small leaves on each one. Yep, that's what I think a leaf looks like. Do you see what I have drawn on the orange flower? And then I'll put a couple on each one of them, okay? Little purple flower stem came up from the glue. And then finally over here on the red flower, we will do a little leaf. And one here too, maybe a little bigger one there. Because who says flower leaves have to be all the same size? Nobody. You can draw a little bit of green up at the base of your flower too if you'd like, and some grass down below. Maybe we should put some grass in, I don't know. I'm going to color in my leaves very roughly. Got to be careful at home. You might want to wait until your flowers dry on your glue before you draw your leaves or color them in. You can do that if you'd like. And that's it. That's our craft today. Let me show you the finished craft just one last time. April showers bring May flowers. Thank you so much for joining me today for Storytime for the week of May 2nd. Again, my name is Miss April. I'm the youth librarian at Janaden Hutton Public Library, and I'll see you back in 1 week. Bye-bye.